Alright guys, welcome back. Survival Living here. So, Happy New Year's to everybody. I know 2023 was some ups and downs, and we got 2024 upon us, and we have elections coming up, or maybe no elections. There's a lot of rumors going around with civil conflict here in the United States. Everything because of former presidents are taking off ballots. American people saying, can't do that. What's going to happen? Well, quite frankly, I don't know. But I do want to go ahead and cover some things that are happening right now, and also what I feel like we need to be doing for this upcoming year. So what we have here is, should be a pop-up. U.S. Navy sinks 3 Houthi boats attacking merchant ship in the Red Sea. Yeah. So, U.S. Navy helicopter returned fired and sank 3 boats carrying Houthi militants in the Red Sea on Sunday. Yep, that's today. This happened about 6:30 a.m., guys. There was a container ship that was issuing a distress call about 6:30 a.m., and the merchant vessel said 4 small boats were attacking it. The small boats originated from Houthi-controlled areas in Yemen. They fired weapons at the container ship. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that name. There should be pop-ups there for you. Please feel free. Getting within 20 meters of the vessels attempting to board the vessel. Yeah, this is just something that's going to keep on going there. I believe that this whole jumping on container ships and trying to take over commercial ships is just going to bring us into a much larger conflict. And with what happened today, I'm interested to see what the retaliation is going to be, what Yemen, Houthi, Iran, all these people, I want to see what their reaction is going to be. I think it's just going to keep on escalating. While the helicopters were in the process of issuing verbal calls to the small boats fired upon U.S. helicopters with crew-served weapons and small arms. The helicopter returned fire, sank 3 of the 4 small boats, killing the crew, U.S. officials said. The 4th boat fled the area. Like I said, guys, just another escalation on it. My belief is just going to keep on going more and more. Now, U.S. went in and destroyed 3 of these boats. I'm sure they're small boats. Kind of like what we saw with Somalia and stuff, where they're hijacking, pirating. I think that's pretty much what's going on here. But it is the militia group. Well, they keep calling it militia group. It's a terrorist group, the Houthis. All right, they're a terrorist group. And I just knocked over stuff. This is what I knocked over. This is my fuel filter for the Buddy heater, the Mr. Heater systems we got. We have started moving our heat system. So we have electric because we have solar, but we will also use propane, and we use the 20-pounders and 100 pounds. We've been using those little green 1-pound tanks. Those things are very expensive. I know you can refill them. I've used those little refill kits, little adapters, and I broke every single one of them. So we keep the green 1 pounds on hand, but we went to larger tanks, and having these filters are freaking amazing. So that's what I knocked over. Let me set it over here. Yes, I am wounded wing still. I'm not going to go into details on it. I hurt myself at work. I am still working. Work as a mechanic, and had to go back to the hospital again. So, fun. I had somebody actually leave a comment, well, what would you do during SHTF? Well, one, I wouldn't be picking up 120 pounds set of mudslinger tires and chest high to mount on a pickup truck during SHTF. There's that. But injuries and stuff like that happen. You know, this is something I've always talked about, having medical teams and stuff like that during SHTF. This injury here, I can't fix. This injury, if it's what the doctors are believing it is, they have to go in and do microsurgery. Yeah, tendon. So, something like that during SHTF, yeah, you're pretty much done. But like I said, I still work. Yeah, I use my other hands. Something to think about. With this upcoming year, guys, you know, I know there's always predictions and stuff like that here on YouTube, especially prepper channels, what we're predicting. I'm not predicting anything. I never put predictions out there. I never put dates and timelines on stuff. The reason being because I'm not in the know of those behind closed doors when decisions are being made. What I am doing with my New Year's resolution, and hopefully you as well, is keep focusing more and more on prepping. All right, whether it is, and I've seen the comments, it must be nice to have solar. It is. It really is. It's a lot of hard work. Maybe that should be part of your New Year's resolution. We started small. We started piece by piece. I didn't have anybody directing me how to do it. I was going to the library, getting books on solar, how to understand, how to hook up, everything I could. I had to take the time, educate myself on it. And we started buying piece by piece. Okay? Now, there are some products here that we're affiliated by. We upgraded what we already had. So now we have what we got right now. New Year's resolution, alternative power. Alternative heat. We use electric. We use propane. We have a wood stove. I didn't want to hook it up in this because the house is pretty small. All right, I didn't want to hook it all up, but I've got one. Okay. As preppers and those that are new to prepping, we do have a lot of new people here. I'm definitely glad that you came here, subscribed. A lot of people came from our Byrna video where I was getting shot by the Byrna. Trust me, that hurts. I love reading those comments. Well, you didn't drop to the ground crying and being decapitated. No, decapitated. Yeah, my speaking skills are not very good. Basically because I'm not a pussy. Yeah, I'll take a beating. There you go. Now, if I was some man bun wearing little millennial F-stick, then yeah, I'd probably lay on the ground crying. Not going to happen. All right, it takes a lot to make me do that. So I'm telling you it hurts, and I'm showing you the impacts knocking holes through watermelons, and then I get shot by the thing. It tells you right there, it hurts. So for those that are new, okay, and those veterans here, you've been prepping for a long, long time, keep it up. Look for those holes. That's your New Year's resolution. Fills those holes. Things are not going to be getting any better, all right? To the new preppers, you need to be working on many different things, and I know it can be overwhelming, all right? You take a little bit at a time, okay? We have a playlist, weekly prep, where we went to the store, what we buy every week. No more rotational stock. This is food that we normally eat. We buy it, we put it back, and anytime we need to cook dinner, we pull from these stocks. When we go to the store, we buy more, and it just keeps building and building. I will say this, please do not keep all your preps in one location. One house fire, you lose everything. How do I know? Been there, done that. All right, so we move our stuff around. Even if you have to get a off-site storage location, if you have to put it in the ground, we've done videos on putting food and supplies in the ground, get stuff moved around. All right, because one event could take it all from you. Okay? One of the things I do want to stress out, because I've been contacted by several people over the course of, 4 years? April will be 5 years here on YouTube. I am being evicted from my home, and I have no place to store my preps. What do I do with my preps? What I really recommend is making sure the bills are caught up. And I ran into this a lot during the pandemic. I had a lot of people reach out to me that they were getting kicked out of their home because they didn't have no work. Everything was shut down, and bills started piling in, and they just never got back on it. Well, I get it, but this is something you should be focusing on really, really hard, because you can have all the preps in the world, and we don't know when SHTF happens, but if you have no place to store your stuff, you're living on the streets, living out of your vehicle, you in a whole new SHTF event. All right, it's a personalized SHTF, but it happens. Secure that first. Same with the I have rodent problems, and they're getting in my stockpiles of food. Please bear with me, guys. I am under the influence of medication, okay, and my brain doesn't work clear anyway. What you need to be doing is dealing with that rodent problem before you start stockpiling your food, okay? I don't care if you have to put down decon, traps, sticky traps, whatever. You need to take care of that issue. I saw comments, well, I can't get rid of all the rats and stuff in my barn, and that's where I store my stuff. You don't want to store your food where fluctuating temperatures are. Okay? You want to keep it a constant temperature. In the ground, below a frost line, constant temperatures, like a root cellar. If you have a off-site storage location, you can get climate control. Okay? You have temperature staying steady, not bouncing up and down. Temperatures that bounce up and down are going to degrade your food faster. It's not going to last as long. Okay, it can spoil. You can get hold of something bad. You wind up getting botulism because you had your food tucked underneath your house. And summertime gets 120, and wintertime gets down to 32. That food's going to go bad very quick. So for the new preppers, I want to encourage you. First thing, get food. Okay, canned goods, dry goods. We've done so many videos on that. I've shown everything on how to store it with Mylar. Get the stuff food put back. Water. I know water takes up a lot of room. I do. Store as much as you can and get water filtration systems. Okay, even if you have to start with a Sawyer Mini, that's what I started with. I carry that in my backpack a lot when I'm doing my outdoor survival videos and stuff like that, guys. When I go on my camping trip, I keep that as a secondary just in case I screw up out there and can't filter out my water. It happens. The woods are rough. They're like $20. Then you get a better system for your home, like we do for Patriots. I don't care who you use, as long as you get some water filtration for your family. We've done water distillery videos. We've done reverse osmosis videos showing that as well. Purification of water. With that being said, you also need to be looking for, excuse me, a water source. Yeah, a water source nearby, guys. Most of us do not have a hand-drawn well in the yard. Okay? We have well on property, and we're able to power it up if necessary. If the power goes out, we can hook up our solar to it. We can run it. I'm not taking all my solar out there. I just run a cord to our inverters. And it'll power it up. But you need to look at your area around you. Are there any lakes, ponds, retention ponds, creeks, rivers, things of that nature? Easiest way to do it, go to your Google map, blow up a 2-mile to 10-mile radius of you. Locate these areas. Now physically go there and look at it. See if it's how bad it is. Is contaminated water? Is there oil slicks floating in it? Whatever. You need to be looking at what's around that area. Are there houses all over? Things of that. Because when it comes down to getting water during SHTF, everybody else is going to be looking for it too. All right. At least you have a game plan. Figure out how you're going to get there. How you're going to transport that water. And transport is a huge thing. During Hurricane Michael, well, after Hurricane Michael, people had strokes and heart attacks here in my local area because they were out of shape, not fit, trying to carry 5-gallon buckets of water from ditches because the water stopped. Everything stopped, and they needed water. Trying to walk a mile back home, carrying 5-gallon buckets, had strokes. They weren't physically fit. They were not prepared for this. That's another big thing. Preparing your body as much as possible. Yeah, coming from the guy with a wounded wing. Yeah, this here couldn't help it. Got a possible tear in the bicep tendon. It happens. Just picking up on stuff that was just way too heavy for me. Got away from me. Getting your heart in shape. Very important. All right. So, body, water, food. Defensive tools. Yeah, your bang bangs. Those things right there. Highly recommend it. Absolutely, absolutely. But you also need to be training with it. Because I see this in YouTube a lot, and I harp this a lot on my channel, because it's like the closed-mindedness of people. Well, I have a gun. I have 1,000 rounds. I'm ready for anything. You're not ready for shit. You're not. If you're not training and practicing with that firearm, you're not. It's a tool. You have to know how to use it correctly. And I don't mean just learning how to look cool with a big old magazine and stuff like that. If you don't know how to use tactics, defend your home, I mean, do you really think that people that's going to be trying to take your stuff is going to come unarmed or just ball bats? They're armed too. All right? Think things out. Medical. This is a big thing, especially if your life depends on medicine. That should be like one of your top priority, because most of the time that medication you can't go like 1 to 2 days without if it's life-saving medication. That should be your first prep. If you have to have insulin and it needs to be refrigerated, alternative power, even if it's a solar generator or a small grid. Well, our grid is big. You can build a small grid, a couple $100, something that can run a mini fridge. All right, it will run it all day long, and it'll be enough to keep power on it during the night. At least you have that option. I like solar generators because of that. They can run all night, all day. Gasoline generators. We have gasoline generators. I still have mine. Gas causes noise. All right, when you're running that thing, everybody's going to be listening to it. Everybody knows you got power. Okay. I see the comments. Well, if you have power, if you have light, if you have food, people are going to come and take your stuff. They'll try to kill you for it. Yes, absolutely. We're preppers. We will have to defend what is ours. So it doesn't matter if you run a gasoline generator or you're cooking food, people smell it. You are still going to have to deal with this threat. If you are planning on surviving SHTF, and I don't mean the full-blown apocalypse, I'm just talking about there's civil unrest, okay? There's no rule of law. And you're afraid to cook food for you and your family because somebody might smell it and you'd rather just eat cold beans out of a can. Hey, you know, that's your option. More power to you. Me, we have a group around. We have security systems in place. Yeah. Our grid is protected by EMP Shield. EMP, coronal mass ejection, still going to work. I would get our security cameras out, our motion sensor. We have those on property, but we keep backups. Everything goes down. I can reinstall all this stuff, and I can have surveillance in my area. Yeah, something to think about, okay? Having the means to power up a laptop so you can watch your security footage, your cameras, live feed, if something's moving around at night, instead of putting yourself out there. Now, would I recommend having patrols? Yeah, of course I would. Absolutely. Night vision, the whole 9 yards. Absolutely. This is more in depth on stuff. As a new prepper, you need to be working on food, water, medication, defense, in my opinion. Then alternative power. Can you survive without power? Well, most people can. I shouldn't say most. A few people can. Because I keep thinking about my generation of people, what we went through growing up. Yeah, definitely could. 2 weeks without power happened all the time where I grew up at. Ice storms. Today's society, and the phone doesn't work for 15 minutes, they're having a meltdown. So yeah, if you're really concerned about alternative power, then yes, by all means, build your own grid. We got videos on that. Solar generators, even a gasoline generator, something to produce power. So I want to encourage you for 2024, guys. Step up your preps. I'm not here to scare you that we're all going to go to war this year. I don't know. I prep as if we are going to. Absolutely. Every chance I get, I'm adding more to our food stocks. There are some things that I don't have enough of, okay? So we're transferring our 1 gallon green propane tanks, those things there, and we are purchasing more and more of the 100-pounder tanks and the 20-pounder tanks. So we're processing different things. You know, that's something I want to work on this year. I want to change out my fuel situation better. With the gasoline generator, yeah, we have about 4 months supply of gasoline. That's to run our vehicle. That's to run our gasoline generators. Okay? But I don't want to be dependent on that. As a prepper, I want to cover and have different options of power. Same with solar. I can power up anything electrical with this. I run saws, microwaves, coffee pots, you name it, we've thrown at it. It's been able to do just fine. This back here, we did a video on this. This is the Vivor. And commenters, well, how well does it do 3 months later, 6 months later? It worked so well, bought a second one. This is our main power supply. That one over there I've had for 4 years, 5 years, something like that. They're still running strong. That's a different brand. That's a Walmart brand. I mean, Amazon brand. Been working great. Do what you need to provide for your family. What is coming our way, no one knows for sure. Well, at least not us normal civilian people. We don't. We're not behind those doors when these decisions are being made by elitists. At all. We don't know what the government's actually going to do. We can look at it and say, okay, I think this is a possibility, so how do I prepare my family for it? And that's what we try to teach here. Now, if I had information that I knew was factual and we're all going to die, damn right I'm going to be up here screaming and hollering, get your ass in gear. What I see is that we're getting more and more closer to a major conflict. Personally, I believe we are in World War III. It just has not gone as kinetic yet. But we're seeing more and more. I could be wrong. And if I am wrong, awesome. It just means that me and my family are more prepared for whatever. It's like injuries. When you get hurt, you're functioning on only a percent of your normal self. Okay? Food, power bills, rent, all that stuff still comes in. Being a prepper, you should have these things in order. Alright guys, I won't keep you any longer. Just want to speak to you today, encourage you to be ready for this year. Okay? Keep on prepping. Be ready for the unknown. That's what we try to do. Alright guys, speak to y'all later.